No. Okay. I think we can start.
ஒரு 1%க்கு வெயிட் பண்ணலாமா? A girl named Niranjani was listening. I think அவன் இன்னும் ஜாயின்
Okay.
பண்ணல. ஒரு 2 minutes வெயிட் பண்ணலாமா?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she'll join. Just give it a minute.
I think she'll take a bit of time to join, so I think you can start for now.
Okay, then we start. Now we'll get into the part of static and pause keywords. So, starting off with static. So, as I was saying, static is a keyword which belongs, like it can either be a data member, it can also be a member function, and we also have static objects. So, these belong to the class itself. And these members, but the values of these static members does not change from object to object. So, consider ordinary member also or a data member. So, if the object will have this data member, then each the object with that data number will have different value. But in the case of traffic, this number belongs to the class, and the other objects have this common number, and it does not from object to object. And when this type is not available to each and every object, so we have different value for each object. Which belongs to the class, and
Hello?
we change these values, we are unique for all the objects together, and
Hello?
separately
கேக்குதா?
for each of them. So that is the main message of static. So as if I mentioned the word is the static for all objects.
நாகதர்ஷன் ஆடியோ ஒழுங்கா கேட்கல.
What can you repeat that?
உன் ஆடியோ ஒழுங்கா கேட்கலடா. Is it only a issue from my side or is it
இல்லடா எனக்கும் அப்படிதான் இருக்கு.
ஆடியோ ஒழுங்கா
Hello?
கேட்கலடா? ரொம்ப
Check, 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 check. Hello? Hello? Hello?
இப்போ கொஞ்சம் பெட்டரா இருக்கு.
Now I know it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit better.
Now we're talking about the static class members. So in this example, we have a static int called next time. Do this in this then it's perspective of this class. When an object is created, that object ID is implemented and it will address this time. So this is the perfect example. So in simple terms, most of the cases, the static int will be found. When we use this static int, it's only number of objects and single created. Like we are doing in the normal examples where maps. So when we need to give it in perspective data, then we have an object to create. This perspective will be intended. So perspective will be implemented in this perspective.
டேய்
Then the
ஹலோ,
number of objects is being created. That is the
டேய்
basic
ஆடியோ
of
திருப்பி கேட்கலடா.
theory. Now this static numbers, so numbers happen literally because
நாகதர்ஷன் ஆடியோ கேட்க மாட்டேங்குதுடா.
now
கேட்க மாட்டேங்குதுடா எதுவும்.
check
எனக்கு ரொம்ப நல்லா தான் கேக்குது.
like not 2 days it
வேற மைக் வேணா ட்ரை பண்றியா? செட்டிங்ஸ்ல ஜூம் செட்டிங்ஸ்ல வேற டிவைஸ் இருக்கான்னு பாரு. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹாஃப் நல்லா தான் போயிட்டு இருந்தது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மீட்டிங்ல. இந்த மீட்டிங்
Or
தான்.
another thing you can do is just screen share from your laptop and join through your phone.
that is what I'm doing. Hello. கேக்குதா?
இப்ப கேக்குதுடா. இப்ப நல்லா கேக்குது.
Okay, then okay. Okay, as I was saying, static class members. These static class members will be initialized outside the class with the help of the scope resolution operators and the class name. So in this case, we're initializing the counter to 0 and then we'll be incrementing as and then when an object is created. So in this case, 3 objects are created. So 3 times the constructor will be called. So that the counter will be increased 3 times. And we also have static member functions, which is used to get the value of the static data members. So that is a simple thing which we can do it in the code. So this is the output which we get. So static keyword, data members, member functions. It belongs to class itself. One copy shared by all objects. So when to use them? When this data has to be shared among all objects. And the main example is a counter. And is also used to call methods and member functions without objects as well. Okay, so this is the basic idea of static members. So a data member can be static and a member function can be static, which is used to call a data member. And we also have a static object. So what does a static object means is that that object also belongs to a class permanently and that object behaves or it like it is present till the end of the program. So that is the like it cannot be created or it cannot be destroyed or nothing can be done. It belongs to the class itself and it is present throughout the program. So that is the major point on static objects. So I think static is done and final concept would be const. So from the word itself we are getting to know that. So as static here also we have three types: const data member, const member function, and then const objects. So what does a const data member mean? That data member will be constant throughout the program. What about const member functions? These member functions can access only the const data members, and these member functions cannot alter or modify any of the data members in that class. What does a const object mean? All the data members and the member functions in that object will be constant. So this will be mainly used in applications of objects which need not require to be changing the values continuously, or we can say in simple words like const objects can be given for objects which has an assigned value at first and it won't be changed later in the code or program. So it has a fixed value throughout the program. In such cases, const objects can be used. So in the case of example, here, so basically display functions or getter functions can be a constant member functions, since we only like return or display the values and we don't modify or change the data members or member functions. And here a const object is created and the value of 1000 is being given. So we ensure that the balance for this object is always 1000 throughout the program and it cannot be changed in any way. Const object, no change after initialization. That is what I said. Like at first you can give a value and that value cannot be changed throughout the program. And these cannot access non-mutable members. What is non-mutable members? These members can be changed, which includes operations or setter functions, etc. So const member functions are the functions which access the const data members, and as I said, it will be display and getter functions which do not modify major operations in the program. Getter, print, validation, etc. So both of them will enforce read only and we cannot modify the contents inside. So that's it for unit 2. So I would like to show some important tables before getting into the quiz. Yes. So I would thought to cover static, friend, and const in a single table here, and also like here it is a friend member function, friend class, and then friend data member, static function, static object, constant member, constant function, constant object, and all the major differences between these all. So first let us take a member function, a normal member function. It is inside class, yes, can access private data. It belongs to the object and called using object. What about a friend function? It is inside class. No, it is only declared inside, but it is defined and it does not belong to class actually. But it can access the private data. It is not part of the class. It is defined outside. What about a friend class? It is also not inside the class, but it can access private data. It belongs to a new class, and all the members get access to the private members. This is all about the friend keyword. Now coming to static member, static data member. It is obviously inside a class and it can access private data if it is given inside a class, and it belongs to class but it is shared throughout the class as well, and it has one copy for all the objects. This is the key rule for static data member.
What about static function? This is also inside class. And can it access private data? No, it only can access only the static members, and they can return the static members values. It belongs to the class and it cannot use non-static data. This is the key rule here. What about static object? Is it inside class? No, it is not inside class. It is actually declared normal. It is declared in a normal way in the main function. Can access private data? Yes, it can access private data. It belongs to the function or class scope, and its lifetime is said to be full program. So as I said before, this object will be present throughout the entire program. Now coming to const function will be inside the class. It is only in read-only format and it belongs to the objects and it cannot modify data. What about const member? It is said to be inside class read-only object and it must be initialized in the constructor. Const object, it is not inside the class. It cannot access private, like it can access but it cannot modify them. You can only give it in the first time. It belongs to the object and it calls only const functions. And these are the like example use or syntax which you can use to access them. So you can just take a note of this table if you are confused between all these three keywords. Now next would be, what do I have? Okay, now I have a sample program which includes all these all the things which we learned in unit 2. So assume we have a, so I'll say like what is the required output. So we have a student 1 with all the details, and then we are just changing the name of it using a copy like we first change the name without the copy constructor, and then with the copy constructor we'll create exact copy of that object, and then we'll also count the total students using the static member, and then we would have also created a const object which would remain same throughout the program. So first we'll create a base class with the protected data types. Protected in the sense it is accessible to that class and to the derived classes as well. We have a default constructor and this is a parameterized constructor. And we are using this pointer here. And copy constructor we'll use the const keyword and this ampersand symbol. And an object is given as a parameter to copy an object from another object. This is destructor. And a getter function and setter function is kept to set the name of the student and to return the name of the student. This is the simple display function. Now we have a class student which has been derived from person, which is the base class. And every student is said to have a roll number and marks, and we also have a static int count. So this count is used to count the number of students. We have a constructor for student. So this is called as constructor chaining, where like we chain the constructor of the person along with the constructor of this newly created class. And then parameterized constructor, this also works in the same way like constructor chaining, where we'll get the inputs in this form and then we'll be giving the required values to this constructor and the remaining things will be assigned here. So this is the syntax for constructor chaining. This is also a normal copy constructor along with constructor chaining as well. And the destructor for student class, then set data and get data and display function. We also have a static function which that just displays the static member, which is count here. Now we also have a friend function, show marks, which will get an object of that class as a parameter. Now as I said, where do we initialize a static member? It is done outside the class with the scope resolution operator. Count is set to 0. And what about friend function? We use the syntax friend and then the function name. and then we can directly write the function name, and the private members can be accessed using object dot data members, like object dot what is the requirement that can be put it here. Finally, coming to the main function, we'll create the object, and this is the way we'll be giving the parameters, and these parameters will be getting into the parameterized constructor, and we are giving display and then set name and then again display. Now for copy constructor, we'll use, this is the syntax to use a copy constructor. Student s2 is equals to s1, or there is also another way, student s2 brackets s1. So both the ways are actually correct, but the most efficient way would be is to use student s2 is equals to s1. And we also have show marks of s1 for the friend function. And static member usage, we'll be calling it with the class name and the scope resolution operator, which will be student scope resolution static function name. And finally, we are creating here a constant object. We'll be giving the parameters, and when we give display, so these will remain constant throughout the program, and these cannot be changed. And this gives this required output of copy constructor static members. We also use this, we also use friend function, and we also use constant object. So this is basically a simple code covering all the concepts of unit 2. So now that's it, I guess. Now we'll have a short quiz. So any doubts do you guys have till now? Hello.
No doubts, Ra.
Okay, then we'll go for the quiz. Just a minute. Uh, just a minute, guys. 2 minutes. Quiz is ready. Guys, those were here. Please join. This is only for Chuma, just to see or understand. கௌதம் வந்துட்டியா உள்ள? எஸ் ஆர்
ஒரு
எஸ்கே?
நிமிஷம்டா. வந்துட்டேன்டா.
Anonymous-ஆ? Gautam, in which name you have come, da?
Eilish.
Sure, okay, then we'll start. Okay, guys, I think all are done. Congrats to the first, second, and third prize winners. Hope you guys enjoyed this session. Thank you so much.